Norman Vaughn, 1923-2002. A frantic newsroom, 1959. Phones are ringing off the hook. Norman Vaughn was the ultimate variety star, hosting the iconic show Sunday Night at the London Palladium. On screen, he was a clean-cut entertainer. Off the screen, he was living a deeply secretive life. He had a relationship with the Hollywood actor and singer, David Whitney. The showbiz papers of the time knew, but they kept it quiet. They didn't want to lose their biggest star. Tragedy struck when his partner died. Norman was devastated, and the grief was so profound that he couldn't keep up the act. He struggled with his secret identity for the rest of his life, a shadow in his own spotlight. Number 7 was a trailblazer. He was a man who publicly fought for change because he had to. Peter Wingard, 1927-2018, the London set of Jason King, 1971. A sea of silk scarves and loud shirts. We discussed him earlier, but Peter Wingard was the ultimate dial icon. He played the supremely confident, womanizing detective Jason King. But in reality, Peter's life was a far cry from his character. He had a brief, disastrous marriage, but the rest of his life was defined by his relationships with men. It was an open secret. He was arrested in 1975, but was acquitted. However, the damage was done. He became a recluse, and the gossip columns circled him like vultures. He lived to be 90, and despite the trials, he never apologized for who he was. Number 6's story is one of the most heartbreaking in British TV history. Dora Bryan, 1923-2014, the set of Dora Bryan, 1960. Laughter and clinking teacups. Dora Bryan was a comedy legend, famous for her work in A Taste of Honey and the sitcom According to Dora. She was known for her warmth, her humor, and her incredible gift for making people laugh. But Dora was also a fiercely private woman. In the 1950s, she was in a relationship with a woman, but the show business machinery of the time demanded she marry, so she did. She had a loveless marriage to a man while maintaining her true relationship in the shadows. It was a sacrifice she made for her career. To the public, she was the cheerful auntie who made everyone feel better. To those who knew her, she was a woman who had to deny her own heart to survive. She outlived her husband and later in life finally admitted to her real relationships. We are now in the top 5. Number 5 is a man who hid in plain sight so well he became an actual knight. But his double life forced him to miss the one thing he wanted most, his own wedding. We are halfway through our list of 15 legends with exclusive secret lives, and the stories are only getting darker and more shocking. Cary Grant, 1904-1986. A lavish party, Hollywood, 1934. Champagne flows and the elite gossip. Yes, Cary Grant was British-born, and he is one of the biggest movie stars of all time. For decades, rumors swirled about his relationship with the actor Randolph Scott. They lived together, shared a bed, and were practically inseparable. The studios forced him into a bearding situation with women to mask his true identity. They hid it behind the guise of bachelors living together. It was a cover story that fooled the public for decades. But the fear of exposure was a constant threat to his career. Cary Grant never confirmed his sexual orientation in public, but his secret was one of the worst kept in Hollywood. It forced him to live a fractured life, a master of disguise both on and off the screen. Number 4 is a man who was so terrified of exposure that he literally created a fictional wife. Harold Wilson, 1916-1995. A Modest Living Room, 1970s. A man holds a photograph of a smiling woman. Harold Wilson was a British Prime Minister. He was one of the most powerful men in the country. He was also hiding a significant secret. For most of his life, Wilson maintained a cover marriage and family. He even had a fictional wife in his biography, someone who didn't exist. The pressure of being the leader of the country while hiding his true identity was immense. The intelligence services feared he was a security risk because he could be blackmailed. It was a poisoned chalice. His secret gave him power, but it also made him a target. Wilson lived in constant fear that the press would uncover his double life. He managed to keep his secret to the grave, a testament to the immense fear and control he exerted. Number 3's secret was so shocking it changed British law. Duncan Grant, 1928-1995, A Courtroom, London, 1954. The judge looks down with disdain. Duncan Grant was a powerful TV executive. He was a success story, but he was a victim of the times. He was caught and charged with gross indecency. He fought it. He used his influence and his wealth to fight the system. He won. His case was a turning point. It helped to sow the seeds of doubt about the legal persecution of gay men. He couldn't stop the laws from being enforced, but he proved that a man could fight back and win. Number 2 is a story of a love that survived the darkness. Sir John Gielgud, 1904-2000, A Backstage Dressing Room, 1960. A man stands alone, looking in the mirror. We mentioned him earlier, but his story is so powerful it deserves a deeper look. Sir John Gielgud was the ultimate thespian. In 1953, he was Arrested for soliciting in a public restroom. It was front-page news. It was the worst thing that could have happened to an actor of his stature. It could have ended his career. But the public didn't abandon him. His colleagues rallied. They protected him. He survived the scandal, and he went on to win an Oscar. He lived to be 96, finally able to live more freely in his final years. Sir John Gielgud proves that sometimes, even in the darkest moments, the truth sets you free. The Hidden Legend, 1901-1981, A Quiet Country Cottage, 1965. Two teacups on a table, and here it is. Number 1. The most shocking secret in British television history. The man who changed everything, who broke the barriers, and who did it all while hiding in plain sight. It was Mac Liammoir, the stage of a grand theatre, 1960s. He is holding an Oscar. Mac Liammoir was the greatest actor you might not have heard of. He was a famous Irish actor and a darling of the British stage and screen. But what few knew was that he was the man who quietly helped overturn the anti-gay laws in Britain. When the law was changed in 1967, it was partly because of a secret network of powerful people, including Mac Liammoir, who campaigned tirelessly. He didn't just live a secret life, he lived a secret life that changed history. He had a long-term partner, the director and actor Hilton Edwards, and they lived together as business partners for over 40 years. Michael wasn't just an actor, he was a revolutionary. He used his fame and his secret to fight a quiet war, a war that finally gave thousands of people the freedom to be themselves. These 8 men were more than just actors, they were pioneers. They were survivors. They gave us laughter and tears, but they also gave us hope. They showed us that even in the darkest times, the truth will eventually come to light.